Gee, do you smell something like smoke?
You know what they say.
When there's smoke.
All toasters toast.
God damn it. I was ready for the fire joke with Firebringer, and you make it about toasters?
Just like all the toasters in Firebringer the musical.
There's no toasters, and welcome.
What do you think fire is?
Fire is a toaster?
Well, yeah, you toast with fire.
Welcome
everybody to StarKid Spotlight.
Welcome everybody to StarKid Spotlight, where we're doing episode 10 of the StarKid musicals. And today we're talking about Firebringer. I'm RandomBystanderHere.
I'm the Wash.
All toasters toast.
Okay, I did not expect that, the joke. I expected anything. But apparently we're feeling Hotel Mario today.
I expected any. Are you saying Hotel Mario is nothing?
It's nothing related to Firebringer.
So Firebringer,
not Hotel Mario, is a musical by StarKid. Their 10th one, believe it or not.
Yes, we made it all the way to number 10.
Yes.
This is our first time in the double digits since we started.
Yeah.
Oh God.
For feature length, I guess. Not counting space.
Oh yeah.
Not
right.
kind of.
Oh wow, you're right. Because like with anime, we only did like 7. Edgar Wright, we only did like a couple films. I would have sworn that Pixar Spectre is the only one. Damn, nice.
Huh?
We're still single digit.
Very true.
We're getting there. We're gonna keep talking bullshit sooner or later.
But we are talking about Firebringer, and as usual, we're gonna start with our experiences with this musical. I expect both of yours to be short.
None.
The only piece of history that I got is that the night that we finished recording the previous episode about Annie, I couldn't sleep, probably because I was thinking about Annie. So I started watching it that night, and I finished like really early.
Yeah, you messaged us like 3 in the morning?
Well, no, I mean, it was the next morning, but
yeah,
it was still the morning when it was. Oh yeah, I finished Act 1,
and I was like, what?
So you've been holding on to this for a whole week.
Yes, which I am very glad that I watched this early, because unlike all the others, I actually needed a lot of time to piece my thoughts on this one.
Ooh,
really?
I actually needed a lot of time. I'm glad I have that time.
I can understand that. Wash, no experience with you, but do you have an experience with watching this musical?
I watched it 2 at a time, and I finished my laundry.
Nice. That's
great.
A
half hour in, did you think, oh man, this is going really slow? How much time has passed?
Yes.
I'm telling you, I am telling you, when you're doing laundry, that half hour is painfully slow. We could be watching like Inside Out, and that half hour would just drag.
And so you know, don't do laundry while watching a film. Anyway,
for the podcast at least, I'm never doing that again.
So with my experience with Firebringer, I don't remember it at all. I don't remember how I found it. I think it was just like showed up in my YouTube recommendations that I was like, oh, they're still making musicals, huh? Cool. All right. Yeah, I guess I'll give it a watch. And I watched it, I think all in one sitting. I thought it was okay. Not the best thing I ever saw, but certainly not the worst. Just okay. I was very happy to see some of the changes that were different from normal StarKid stuff. We'll talk about them in more detail later. But I don't know, just something about this one was just okay to me. And I never really watched it again other than that, like maybe one time. Maybe 2. And then I was on TikTok years later, and all of a sudden I hear someone make a meme about, I don't really want to do the work today. I don't really want to do the work today. And I'm like, I know that. where is that from? And I'm like, it's Firebringer.
And then you thought, what if we did StarKid for the podcast?
I saw that not only did that go like viral, but even the cast of Book of Mormon performed that like lip sync to that song. Like, I guess it was everywhere.
It was one of the first viral TikToks out there.
Wow,
it really was. And I even like looked at one of the comments section of the YouTube, and it's like, and one of the comments said, "I watched a YouTube musical based on a TikTok. I regret nothing."
Oh boy, wow.
I love those kind of comments.
I hate those kind of comments so much.
You get the chronology absolutely wrong.
I hate it.
I'm trying to think of one example where it's like, no, you dumb, but I can't remember it now. It was Baby Driver. There are people that think Baby Driver is based on the music video. No. Don't you dare.
Okay,
anyway.
So Bringer of Fire, or as it's otherwise known as Firebringer.
Yes.
Who's doing plot synopsis?
I don't usually do them, now that I noticed that. Do you want me to do this one, or do you guys want to do it?
Has KirbyFan done one? I'm trying to remember. I feel like she has, but I can't remember right now.
I think they did it to Trail to Oregon. Or was that Anayume?
Anayume. If we have a guest, it's only right.
Okay.
That's very fair.
As much as I wanted to do it.
Kirby, do you want to do it this time?
I mean, it's up to you.
Do it, Kirby.
All right. Yeah, I've never done one for StarKid. I was wondering how long it would be until somebody noticed.
Only took 10 episodes.
I guess Firebringer is that one. So Firebringer is a StarKid production that is set during the Stone Ages. The leader of a clan of people is about to head off to do her own thing, puts it in trust of the up-and-coming leader, and she's told some things about the way that their society works that is a shocking revelation to her, and what it ultimately amounts to is one of the more rebellious people in the group taking over, and the playing out how it would be with the new person taking over, the experienced one not being there, everything that happens, and there are certainly side stories to this, because there were 4 writers.
Yep. 4 writers.
Yeah.
Although it's weirdly credited, like it's like in the end credits, it was like
I noticed
3. It was like written by Nick Lang, Matt Lang, and then Brian Holden, and then it says with additional writing by Meredith, and I'm like,
yeah. Why just not credit her as a writer?
The wiki does that.
I mean, it's not. I mean, there's nothing with like ill intention. You know, I've watched enough StarKid to know at this point. You know, they're good people.
Yeah,
but it's just weird.
Maybe because she wrote the music, and that's where she helped bridge them together.
Possibly, because like when I'm on like the StarKid website right now, and she's not credited for writing on the main page, but she is for the music and lyrics.
That's weird. Anyway, yeah, one thing that is very noticeable from the get-go is it's a mostly female cast.
Yeah, the only you're gonna have to fill me in on the third, because I hate that. I love him as an actor. I can just never remember his name. There's Joe Walker, there's Joey Richter, and not Nick Lang.
Brian
Holden, that's his name?
Yeah, Brian Holden.
That's right.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. And for a play like this, I mean, I love Brian Holden, but like if I had to pick my 3 favorite guys, it would be Joey Richter, Joe Walker, and Dylan Saunders. But for this play, I don't think Dylan Saunders would have worked very well. I think Brian Holden, no, that's his name.
Yeah, Brian Holden.
I'm
thinking Brian Walker for some reason. Brian Holden was a much better pick. But yes, other than them, entirely women.
Yeah. Which was very
good.
Nice. Yes, very
good. Especially after Annie.
Yeah.
It's not only that, but also like you mentioned, like music and lyrics by Meredith Stepien and Mark Woodhurst. Kowalski, and direct and co-directed by Julia Albane, who's played Goyle and
she
Beck.
played Crab.
Crab. That's I get Crab and Goyle mixed up. But she plays
if
Crab.
Goyle wasn't Jim Pavolo, I would do the same thing.
Yeah. But and also Specs, and we never seem to like her in anything she's done.
I liked her as the reporter in Holy Musical Batman. She was my StarKid Spotlight.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, okay, yeah. She did a good job with that one.
Yeah.
But beyond that, she's been like a supporting cast.
Yeah.
And she elevated up to co-director. So good.
Yeah, good for her. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I still want to see her in a role, but but you know what? Directors have more power than you think they do. So
absolutely.
So good for her for helping direct this. That's amazing. And good for StarKid for making it a mostly female cast. Like
not only like mostly female cast, but like and I was reading some reviews on this, and they talk about how it's just assumed that like women are equal to men, and they don't bring it up. They don't talk
not
about
once.
that.
I was super, especially when I saw that 3 men were rating it. It's like, okay, either they're gonna go too far or they're not gonna go far enough, and it's like, no, they just did the right thing. I mean, obviously Meredith was there as well, but I think at this point it's safe to assume that the StarKid writers, they're much better than they were when they started out. They know what they're doing. If anything, it's like what I was the most impressed with is that, none of the men really had power and only the women had power, but again, never brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
The closest thing, we'll talk about this. The closest thing there is, Random's laughing, he knows where I'm going with this.
Yep.
The closest thing there is to a man in power, I'm not even going to call him Ducker, I'm just going to call him Joe Walker. That's the closest thing there is, and there's a lot to be said with this character, but we'll get into him. But
honestly, it's so funny to like be like, I shall have the dry spot in the cave, and they're just like, no, he didn't say that. The duck didn't. The fire did not say that, and
only I can hear the fire's divine premonitions.
Oh, we'll get to Joe. We'll definitely get to Joe, especially.
We'll have to get to Joe.
We have to. But do you guys want to start with like the characters, or where do you go? Where do you want to start with this musical? Because we could start with.
I'm assuming we're either starting with plot, characters, or music. I'm assuming we're going to start with one of those.
We could start. I mean, we talked about the plot a bit.
By that I mean I did the plot synopsis. It's all
yeah.
Because there's really like two protagonists in this one. It's like two separate stories happening.
Yeah, I really like stories like that.
Yeah. Although one of them does kind of like fade into the background and then like come back in a really big way.
But I mean, at the same time, like what I like about it here, at least, is that Act 1 is definitely, hold on, I'll get her name. Jamila. Act 1 is definitely much more of her story than it is Zazalil's, but Act 2, like because she takes over, it grows more into being more about Zazalil. Jamila's still there, and like you said, Jamila comes back in a big way. Mm-hmm. But it's cool. I appreciate stuff like that.
Also, I was going to say this, but I'll mention it when we talk about specific characters. Okay.
So do we want to talk about like?
I don't.
Do we want to?
What do you want to talk about?
Do you want to start with Jamila just because that's? I mean, the character that we really started with was Molag, I believe her.
Yeah,
Molag. Name is.
Who's
Molag? Yeah,
Lauren, played by Lauren Walker. No relation, as far as I know, to
no
Joe
relation
Walker.
to Joe Walker or Brian Walker.
All I could think of when I saw Lauren Walker was like, wow, Lauren Lopez, Joe Walker.
This is not a Fire Emblem thing.
What does Fire Emblem have to do with it?
Didn't Awakening like have it where you could like have students like get together and make babies or something, and then those children could be? Never mind, forget it.
Oh my god!
Edit this out, me.
No.
Anyway,
all right.
Yeah, it did start with Molag. She's like the
played by Meredith. And what did we think about her?
I thought she was good. I thought she played the role well. She was like the very strict like ruler who keeps everything organized. The peacemaker kept things together, but she still had her hilarious and relatable moments, like when Molag tells her about all the shit about their tribe that like isn't happening.
That she made up.
The duck.
The duck isn't real.
Poor duck.
How what's her name? How I believe Tiblin is not holding up the sky. Yes.
Yeah.
And she just has like a little freak out.
I'm sorry. I can't keep thinking about Joe Walker. I'm thinking about when she tells her to put her arms down, and Joe Walker is like, I'm so confident that the sky will fall. I'll be the first one to stop worshiping the duck when she puts her arms down.
And he does,
and then he pulls out of his sleeve later that he was like, you may have noticed that I was the first one to renounce my faith in the duck. That is because I know now that the fire is the real.
We'll get to Joe. I promise.
I'm sorry. He's just like,
oh no,
he's not in it a lot, but he's got the perfect line.
He really does.
Yeah.
He plays the religious con artist really well.
Yes.
But
okay, yes. Jamila. I liked her. I liked her a lot, actually.
It would be nice, as Molag said, if she wasn't so mean to Lauren.
Oh my god!
Don't be mean to Lauren.
That won the crowd over, right? That line right there.
Oh, it did.
Yes.
I think
not only for the fourth wall breaking, but also because, like, damn, we finally got Lauren Lopez in a starring role.
Yes, she's playing a woman.
Yeah, yes, she's not using her character voice.
although I do gotta say, she did pull out the Draco voice
a little bit.
She did, and even the subtitles.
Yeah, the subtitles picked up on it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I missed the subtitles. Darn it.
The subtitles were weird in this
very
one.
conveniently for me. Like during that scene, there was something happening in my house. It was not loud, but like loud enough. So I was like, I'll just put the subtitles on. And then I see in her Draco voice. I was like,
Jamila. I mean, Zazzle and Jamila we can intertwine with a bit because they are the two main characters
I think that's
of this.
fair. And I think my favorite thing about both of them is how they work off each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is jumping far ahead, I realize, but my issue with Jamila is that I don't feel like she really grew as a character. It didn't seem like because she went off. And it seemed like there was going to be the sort of I should have I was far too harsh, and they kind of do that, but they far more do the I told you so, and it didn't. I don't know. I didn't quite like that section of the musical when it was like oh, look how perfect of a life I have without you. Ungrateful bastards.
Yeah,
that was.
See, I like that part. I do the Jamila part. I like just fine, but the I moved on. Look how much better I am. But I'll come back because I just can't say no to that face.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason she goes back is very good, but like everything surrounding it is just kind of like,
like.
And I wouldn't. There's two reasons that I have a problem with it, and Wash already brought up both of them. It's just that it's like it's kind of mean, but mean towards like Jamila's integrity, just because she goes back anyway. And then it's also just because she just doesn't get a character arc because of it.
Yeah, like Zazzle like apologized multiple times, and Jamila was still gloating about it. It's just,
well, I mean, no, that I'll defend her on, because have you ever tried organizing things?
Yeah.
More power to you, Jamila.
Group.
But it's just more. It's like my issue. I mean, it's not even with Zazzle really. It's just like from a writing standpoint. It's that, like you said, oh, my life is so much better, but I'm gonna give it all up because.
When you said, "Have you ever tried organizing something?" that made me remember in like college, I was a treasurer for the TV club, and I didn't, despite being the treasurer, I didn't know anything about our budget, like where our money actually is. And it was becoming like a running gag to the point that when like it was my final year, and when we were doing the elections, all the candidates for the treasurer were all saying, "I'll find out where that budget is." And I was like, "Did I fuck this up this bad?"
I'll be honest.
And then maybe let me tell you, they probably became treasurer and did not find out that budget. I'm sure.
No, they didn't.
I did eventually, like right after that election, I was like, "Okay, I gotta fix this now," and I did like ask the professor, like, "Where the hell is that money?" But so I understand Zazalo's perspective of just completely fucking it up.
You mean Jamila's perspective?
No, Zazalo. When she was trying to do like anarchy, because I was not a very good.
Okay.
I still put it on my resume though. So any future employers, please ignore this part. I was just joking.
I'm gonna edit that out.
No.
Wow.
Anyway, back to Jamila for the 5th time. Yeah, I understand what you guys mean with that. I don't like that scene in particular.
I mean, I like her fine. I think the base character is fun.
Yeah, I agree. Like the moment she has
I like
when
her.
she's with the tribe.
I'm not here to trash her. It's just that scene.
Yeah, that scene. But when she's like with the actual her tribe and like trying to organize, like the great debate scene, for example, she's really good at peacemaking, even though it's such a silly problem. She has some great moments of vulnerability with a Morag. Shit, sorry, Lauren. Other Lauren.
Wow, you're apologizing for getting her character's name wrong, but not for calling her Other Lauren.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry. Lauren
Walker.
But yeah, that scene was great. This you see.
I like when she had initially when Zazalo found her at the other village. I like how initially happy's not the right word. What is the word? I guess.
Gay.
I mean, that too.
Yeah,
but that's not the word that I'm thinking of. But I also appreciate that a lot.
This show's very, very bisexual.
Very bi. It's very bi.
And I'm
very bi.
Very, and I welcome it. Honestly.
Yeah, unlike the me and my dick and Quirrell-Demort scale, it's a lot closer to Quirrell-Demort.
Yes.
or Voldemort, I guess, because he's bi.
Yeah. She wasn't even the first bisexual character, apparently, because there was even a discussion with the Tiblin, like earlier, where she had attractions to
Chorn. Chorn.
Yeah, Chorn.
How
and
do you
one
not
other.
know Chorn? That's the only thing Chorn says.
No, I remember Chorn. I don't remember the other one she had a crush on. I can't remember her.
I don't remember.
Zazalo and Kiri are having an argument with each other, and they get really close, and I remember screaming at my computer, "Just kiss."
And they did.
And then they kissed, and I was like, oh. And the word that I'm trying to think of to describe it is not going to come to me, but I liked how content and in control. That's a good word. Yeah, she was very in control of herself and the people around her, and everybody was happy.
Yeah. Jamila is a very symbolism of control.
She's a control freak. She's a control freak.
A bit. And it's kind of like the Pixar problem where like they're good at controlling things, but they have that flaw of control where she's a bit of a control freak. And the only thing is they don't really do anything with it other than like we're at the end where they both work together to fight Snarl.
Oh, no, here's what she does. She fuels the fire of Zazalo.
I like it.
Me too.
But yeah, Jamila is great. I like her a lot.
I do think I like Zaz a little more though.
Oh yeah, me too. Nothing personal, Jamila. Just like we love one Lauren bias, I'm sure.
I'm sure,
and
two, not the other Lauren.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Lauren Walker. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's talk about Lauren and Zazalil.
Let's talk about Lauren Lopez.
Yes, Lauren Lopez, Zazalil. It was so refreshing so refreshing to not have her do a character voice.
Yeah, she just got to speak.
She just got to speak
and sing. She had song numbers.
She had a lot of
And
song numbers.
Her first time playing I was gonna say her first time playing a female character since Taz, but there was one in Twisted, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
Maleficent.
But she also played the monkeys. Yeah.
And also, you can't even say Taz because Taz was a guy.
No, Taz was a girl.
What?
No, I thought Taz was a guy. Maybe I thought Taz was a guy.
No, Taz was a girl.
Yeah, no,
right, cool. I guess I gotta rewatch Starship.
Yeah. But yeah, she is, and I don't get mad at me when I say this, Kirby fan. But when she was like the Tinkerer trying to like advance the Stone Age of her tribe, I got some Flick vibes if Flick was done right.
Oh no. Oh
no. If Flick was done right. If Flick was done
right.
I'm
not mad at you. I'm just like
you have to bring it up again.
The joy that I was feeling is drained. I feel empty.
No,
there's so many other inventor characters too. There's like the dad from Goonies, not Goonies, Gremlins.
Right, timer's up, guys. Final thought.
I don't know. It's like they're all sorts of just like
others.
Bumbling inventor.
Man, if you could have brought up me and my dick, and it would have felt better than if you brought up freaking Bugs Life.
I'm sorry, we're not doing a good job of talking about this musical. And it's not like it's
like there's. I was gonna say almost like there's 4 podcast people, like there are 4 writers, except no, there's only 3.
Yeah.
But
I like how Zazalil is just trying to progress. And
Zazzle, it's like it's an underdog story in a sense, but unlike most underdog stories, all underdog stories, the underdog is like very clearly not fit out to be what they're trying to be. So when they get it, you can just instantly see like even before it happens, you're like, all right, Zazzle got what she wanted, but is this a good idea?
Yeah,
probably not.
Yeah, like when you see her take charge in Act 1, you get like right before Act 1 ends, you're like, you see her take charge. I'm like, yeah, that's great, but there's gonna be some consequences.
Because this whole thing really is a social satire. Is it our first social satire of StarKid? Because like it goes into, like we said, religion. It goes into technology.
Yeah.
I think the closest
they literally say climate change at one point.
They do.
They do. I think that the closest that I could think of would be like Starship, and just how Bug trying to be a Starship Ranger. That's that's like the closest that I can think of, but that's not the whole production. There are the human characters, the Bug characters. Yeah. The whole production here is about the social norms, I guess. Yeah, and the commentary about it, the satire.
It's very literal and metaphorical. And it's like all these different they fill in all these different roles. They even like make fun of like comedians and like trying to make the joke.
Oh yeah, almost forgot about Schwoopsie.
Schwoopsie.
Fun, cute role.
That was the kind of character that it's like, okay, this is getting annoying very fast, but it's like Young Frankenstein with the horse neighing. Where it's like, okay, just saying Von Blucher isn't very funny, but the just kind of gives it that extra edge that it needs.
Yeah,
I liked it. Every time that she was on, I at least got a chuckle, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. She didn't need to do anything more.
Like, there's literally one point where like Schwoopsie, she always says her catchphrase line, Schwoopsie, with the drum, ba-dum-ching. And there's one point literally where like I think they're sneaking into Snarl's cave. And they make a noise, and she goes, "Whoa, Schwoopsie!" Just casually, and it just works.
She said it in the middle of a line too, and the band still caught that, and she like gave them pointed to the band. It's
she was like, "Good job, guys."
Oh, it's so great. I going back to Zazzle though. I really like how like headstrong she is, how like determined she is to like break out of the norm and like, no, I'm not gonna sit in a cold damp cave. I'm gonna evolve. God damn it! And she tries to fight a mammoth, and then she discovers fire, which is dope. And I love how like even though she discovered it, she doesn't know how to make it until near the end of the play.
Yeah, I really like that. They had to keep the fire going.
It's of course I'm gonna be the one to say it. It's very a SpongeBob BC.
Yeah.
Don't you mean ugh?
If I say ugh, then like half the audience, we've lost half the audience. That is to say, one of our audience.
But yeah, I did get. I don't know if there was a reference. It could have been.
Probably not. It is like there's a good chance that like the first fire would just happened by accident, and it just like just like at a certain point somebody decided to start like flicking rocks or something, and they're like, hey, that kind of looks familiar, like at the end there. Yeah. And so like it is interesting that they still like spread it out, like they still figure out enough of the chemistry of fire that they can like share it, which is more than we can say for SpongeGar, Patar, and Squawk.
Yeah, because like in Act 1, you just see Zazzle with the fire, and by Act 2, everyone has it, which I'm like, cool. And then eventually,
I can just look at this fire all day.
It becomes a metaphor for smartphones.
Yeah,
and just the dang kids staring at their smartphones all day.
I noticed that, and I'm like, there's like, all right. Literally, they say, why don't you stop looking at that fire and go out and do something with your life? And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That was feeling a little too Cars 3 for me.
Yeah, a bit. That
fire must stay.
And eventually they play with the fire to the point where they literally burn down their whole village. And
because of the fucking priest though.
Do you guys is there anything else you want to say about Zazzalil? And then we'll move on to Joe Walker.
Best exchange of the play is when Zazzle is trying to convince Jamila to come back. She says, I'll be your wife, don't you want this? And she's like prancing around and everything, like going really try hard. And Jamila's just looking at her the whole time. She takes a deep breath and says, that's very tempting.
Hey, eventually she says yes.
Yeah, and no, they hold on to that commitment.
They do. She's like, hell, I'm into it.
Yeah, she's like, sure.
And I'm like,
I'm trying to remember what my favorite exchange is.
My favorite exchange involved Joe Walker, I'm sure. That was just like...
Without Joe Walker, yeah, that's the thing.
I think you mean your favorite exchange between, like, Zazzle and Jamila?
Oh, yeah. But also just in the sense that it's like, it's very gay and it's very good.
It's very good. Bicon?
This is partly more for the other character with his name Grunt or Grant. But like at a certain point, like he's just suddenly a part of the tribe. Everyone is accusing Zazzle, and like Grunt, who's brand new. He had no idea what's going on. He said, "You disappointed," and Zazzle is just like, "Who the fuck are you?"
I'm Grunt. I'm an outsider, but it seems like you messed up big time.
It seems like you messed up. I don't know what's going on, but
I really liked Joey Richter in this, but we can talk about him later.
We got.
Do you want to go straight? Do you want to skip down the cast list and go straight to Ducker?
I mean, I kind of want to talk about. So here's the thing with Mohawk, right? She's not. I mean, she's a character, but all of her interaction is with the audience. She's the narrator.
Yeah.
Like, she has a character. She interacts with the world, but I just think she's funny.
Yeah. She reminded me a lot of... Have any of you guys seen The Lion King on Broadway?
I have seen The Lion King on Broadway, but it's been a long time. I think I know what you're talking about.
She made me... I kept getting, like, Rafiki vibes. From like
like if
Rafiki was a stand-up comedian.
I'm trying to think of something else where there's something else where there's like a
just a narrator that interacts with the audience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that like she's a narrator, but she's also a part of the story.
Yeah, it's a very common trope in theater. Like,
Yeah, but I can't remember think of like an example outside of theater for that. Outside of like a movie True Stories, I think, with the David from Talking Heads. Anyway, it's a obscure movie, and that's all I can think of.
Powerpuff Girls is the first one that comes to my mind.
the city of Townsville.
I loved when it's the start of Act 2. We establish what happens to the tribe, and she goes to the audience and says, "What happened to Jamila? Oh, she's dead. She got eaten." And then she just like shrugs. Everyone's laughing.
And walks
because
away.
At this point, it's well established that she's like, "Oh, I'm screwing with you." But she just shrugs and she's like, "No, that's it. She got eaten. Your story's over. Bye." And she walks off stage. There's just this beat. Then she comes by and she's just like, "Nah."
Nah, fucking with you again.
I loved that. Because I was expecting her to you're expecting her right away to come out with a "No, I'm just messing with you," and then she doesn't. And I'm like, she's just messing around. We all know that. She walks off. I'm like, all right, well, the joke is gonna be she comes back out. And then there's that beat, and I'm like, oh my, did she actually get eaten? And then she comes out and says no. I'm like, wow, they played me for a fiddle.
it was there's a good line from Molag like a little earlier where she does that same thing of lying to the audience like that, and it's like, oh, you guys can't trust me, I'm feeling too silly, but anyway. Like, good, hats off to Lauren Walker, because this is her debut, of course, and goddamn, she knocked it out of the park.
I really liked her.
And if you don't like her, you're a privileged fuck.
I forgot about that line.
She's
there's right before, I do remember one other line that I liked from Zazzalo was I forget what the contest was, but she was just talking about the fire, and all of a sudden she starts talking like a politician and says, "In fact, I believe we can change the climate permanently." Something about that cadence, it just like it's creeping me out.
This is definitely the most socially satire of the plays, I think.
Oh
we've
yeah,
seen.
yeah.
I don't know about the guy who didn't like musicals, but this one is the most.
So far.
So far, yeah. Is there anything else we want to say about Lauren Walker before we get to the other Walker?
She is hilarious, and I don't know if she's in anything else. I hope she's in Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, but like,
I hope she's in something.
I really hope so.
I mean, we're close enough to the end where it's like they could bring her back, but we only have 2 musicals left. We don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? But like, she was a fantastic narrator, and I thought that it was gonna get. She was like, all right, this joke's gonna get old, but it never did. I always relished whenever she was on screen, even when she comes in the end. It's funny.
Yeah, guess what? The Earth is round. We know.
We'll talk about Shorn.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ducker.
Until then, yes, Ducker, Joseph Walker's last role in StarKid as of now.
I wanted to mention
it's so sad, but it's like good note to go out on.
That's very true. I thought the role wasn't as good as it was in the past, but my God, he made me laugh hard multiple times.
Yeah, no, it's not his best role, but it's like I can think of like obviously, there's the 2 Joe Walker roles that stand out for not being good, and they're not his fault. But everything else with Joe Walker is just so much fun that even if it's like this isn't one of his best roles, it's like he still says, "Put the fire on me because I am a devout believer. I will not be burned."
Can I just say that fire effect though?
Like the digital fire you get from like YouTube.
Yeah, that's like one of the edits I would use.
Yeah.
I mean, you were limited probably back then in like. Actually, it was 2016.
Yeah, no, this one is recent.
Yeah, no. They have the budget for fire. They just don't want to. They're fine with just.
It's more fun this way.
Honestly,
just Google green screen fire done.
Honestly, it works. It does it well, and yeah, it's hilarious to see Joseph like just do a meditation chant and just slowly freak out. My head is on fucking fire.
And he just like runs around and spreads it on everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Also, my favorite thing though is like when he first two things. One, when he first finds out the duck isn't real, Meredith he does the whole "He is Lord, Duck is Lord" song, and then Jamila just goes, "All right, the duck isn't real. What the fuck?" And then eventually, when he's like, "We should give me the duck," he's like, "No. Let's let the duck choose." The duck will be like, "Oh, there he goes," and you just see Joey Richter holding the duck with a stick.
I want to point out real quick. It was nice to see Joey Richter and Joe Walker on the same stage again.
It was.
Yeah. It's been a while. It's been a long while.
Yeah, not since was it
either Me and My Dick or Starship?
It was Starship.
No, it's senior year, right? Voldemort and
I don't know
Ron?
if they shared the screen.
No. Oh God, that's right. Keep forgetting that fucking professor. Moving on.
But either way, it was just I don't know. It was a smaller role, but it's still every line he said was funny. And
that's the thing about small roles, right? It's like you can either just be a small role or you can just go places with it.
You really can, and Joe Walker went places. I really hope. I'm. It's sad that this is his last role in StarKid as of now.
Should we mention why this is his last role?
I think you can look it up. Either that or mention it at the end when there's not a ticking timer.
Yeah, very true.
That's fair.
But yeah, Ducker was great. He was great, better than I remember by far.
As we were mentioning, just like the length he went to get that privilege back of having the dry part, the dry part of the cave,
even when they weren't in a cave anymore.
Yeah, even when they were outside.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go down the cast list?
Just pick whoever. I don't go by cast list.
I can only think of 2, maybe 3 other characters that are like, oh, there's a lot to say about them, because otherwise it falls into that 4 writers problem where it's just they're going so many different places that it's just like most of the characters are there.
I would say there's one character I'm gonna talk. I want us to talk about last, and that's Chorn. And you know why?
Yes,
we have to talk about Chorn last.
I know why. We'll wait for Chorn. I'll give you guys a choice. We can either talk about Kiri or we could do 2 birds with 1 stone. Get it? With Emberly and Grunt.
I think you're gonna have to talk about Emberly and Grunt. Well, you know what? Because I feel like that's gonna be a bigger discussion. Let's quickly touch on Kiri.
Yeah.
Denise Donovan's back.
So there's not much to say on her, but I thought she was funny.
Yes.
And the actress that plays her, I remember like it's like what we were talking about with Corey in Trail to Oregon, where it's just like I know good actor, but just these roles are not it. And it's just like, oh, this is a role that is it. It's not as great as Grandpa, unfortunately. But it's still a role that it's like, no, this is good, and she plays the role well.
Yes.
She finally got her time. Finally.
Chewing on a walnut. That's what we needed all along. Not only that, but like this was something that I appreciated was like she brought out her inner choreographer when like she just entered the scene at the start of Act 2 because they were just doing a dance sequence and said, I was just thinking that the rib isolation should be sharper and they could really lock the movement, but that's just a note I had.
Just a note I had. When we were hanging out collecting nuts, hating Jamila together, it was fun. But now that Jamila's gone, I don't care.
Now Jamila's gone, you're the problem.
You're the problem.
I don't remember what the exact line was, but that was basically
but it's something like that.
There's even a point where like Kiri even calls Zazalil out on like all the things like you killed too many mammoths and for poisoning the water supply, burning down our crops, and delivering a plague onto our houses.
She did?
No, but are we gonna sit around until she does?
I'm glad you saved yourself at that last moment.
Thank you. But there's a point where she actually does call her out on Zazalil's bullshit, and Zazalil's like, "Oh, it's fine. It'll all work out, I'm sure." And she's like, "No, you're the problem." And eventually, when the huts do burn down and everyone goes to like try and rescue Grunt, Kiri like even goes against Zazalil. And even to the point where she like automatically autopilots to go with Zazzle, and she's like, "No, wait, you're the reason for this. I'm gonna go help out my friends."
I think she says something like, "I'm gonna go this way."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Denise Donovan hasn't been getting the best roles, but I really liked her role as Kiri.
Yeah, very good. I liked her a lot.
Although I like the fact that Zazzle and Jamila get married, but like I was shipping Zazzle and Kiri.
I'm sure. I mean, they still got stuff going on. It's the Stone Age. They've got stuff going on the side. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, you can have. It's very clear you can have
Jamila was married to Claire and Clark Backstresser.
True.
Jamila had like the largest polycule you've ever seen.
True.
Just like all the wives.
Wasn't she married to like 100 people or something?
Yeah.
Like that?
He had like so many children, which makes me think like how long have they been away?
Quick shout out to a joke, and then we'll move on. But when Jamila's saying goodbye to everybody, she says goodbye to one of her daughters. You know, they kiss, they have a moment. Then she goes to say goodbye to the son, played by freaking Brian Holden. And before she can like touch him, he's like, "Bye, Mom!
Bye, Mom!"
And he just runs off stage.
It was like Brian Holden even did like the kid thing where like he didn't want any physical contact, he just ran away.
Oh, that's great.
I will add a bit like for Kiri. I didn't, because it felt like they were going somewhere with her character, like with her character arc, but it never really like concluded. It just stopped.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about before. It's like, because this is the problem with having 4 writers. You have a bunch of different ideas for a bunch of different characters, but you know you can only focus on so much. The only real arcs that are fully gone through are the Jamila Zazzle combo, and I guess Emberly and Grant. Which even that like is there's a scene in the beginning of Act 1, and then an hour and a half later they meet each other again.
Yeah, let's get to these characters right now. Grant and Emily.
I've been calling him Grant. It's technically Grunt.
It's technically Grunt.
I like that running gag of them not hearing each other or not.
Yes.
Like,
oh my god.
They kept having it's like my name is Grunt. Hey Grant, that's fine. And then it pays off in a big way. It was like I made this for you. It's called a painting. Wow, a painting.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Oh, it's so great. And again, it's Rachel Soglin who played the mother in Trail to Oregon and Princess in Twisted. She does a fabulous job. I'll just say it. I think I like her more than I like Lauren at this point. Really?
She's really
the actress. She's incredible. She's incredible. Like
Emberly
really is not a role that I should have liked this much, but I loved her.
She did so good.
Yeah, I was watching I kept like having to like remind myself that's the same character who played Mother. And she's a completely different role, and she's totally immersed into it. That's all glasses. Just put on glasses. It's all that you need.
Yeah.
I
don't want to say this. I don't know for sure. This might be her last StarKid role. We're gonna see a lot of these being the first, some being the last.
Yeah.
Some being last, some being first and last. For StarKid.
We'll just have to see, yeah.
I can tell you, she does such a good job. You relate to her from the very beginning. She's competent, she's funny, she's sweet. Yeah. Her and Joey work so well together. Like they just have great chemistry together. They have great jokes together. The painting scene is so funny. Honestly, the song.
I have to save it for the ending. I have to.
Okay. I was just gonna say the song "Just a Taste" is one of my favorite songs of the musical.
Oh, that's probably my favorite. That might be my favorite in the play. I'd have to think about it.
I think it might be mine too.
Oh yeah, that's a really good song. I thought you were gonna mention "Paint Me."
That's good too, but like.
when she's striking all the different poses, and like she starts out just being like, oh, I'm attractive, but then she just I don't know what she's doing.
I don't know what she does.
And she's just like, I
She's
like
just,
this
like,
pose drawing.
just not being helpful at all as a subject.
No.
But my favorite line in that song was that it was like, it's like Grunt is ready to hand it over, and he said, "Oh shit, I forgot the eyes."
No, I think it's the painting of the father, and she says, "Are those his nostrils?" And he's like, "No, those are the eyes." And he's like, "Oh, I forgot the eyes." Well, that's a terrible painting. He just throws it. He goes to give her. I forget which one it was. I think it was the painting of the mother. Goes to give her that painting. He's like, I'd be willing to part with this. Really? No, not this one.
No, I think that was. Yeah, I think.
No, it was the painting of the painting of Emberly, I think. What did the turkey?
No, she wouldn't ask him for that one because he needs them. Although,
I
love when she asks, "Oh, I can make a painting of you too." No, I'm not super confident in my abilities as an artist.
No, like she does.
You don't want to feel inferior when I draw a painting. Yeah, I totally understand.
Aw.
Just so selfish.
It's also so cute.
Like they're both selfish. It's just so funny.
Oh my god! Now I'm thinking about the line later on where Grunt loses an arm, and he also loses both of his feet. And it's
what
like,
am I supposed to use as a reference now?
I can't do this shit from memory. Joey again delivers the line
Joey
so
Richter
well.
so much.
This is
so
not
good.
his last show, I can tell you that.
Oh my god! Like like his introduction when he's like talking about like being getting kicked out of the tribe, and I believe the story is like, you know, when there's like a group of coyotes eating the rabbit, and there's one coyote that everybody ignores. Yeah, well, I'm the rabbit. Not only is that a great line, but he delivered that
so well.
A+.
Oh god, I was at this point where like I know like the two plot lines between Zazalil and Jamila, but it's really Zazalil, Jamila, and Grunt and Emberly. So
no, see, like
yeah.
this is kind of my big issue. I'm really worried with the four writers. Remember from Annie when I said, you know, I don't remember if this was during the episode or after, but I remember saying, well, my confidence in this could completely shot. And, you know, obviously based on how the pace of the episode has been going, I obviously enjoyed myself. But it's really hard to ignore the fact that it's very obvious. A lot of people wrote this. A lot of people had stories they wanted to tell. Aside from the main story, none of the others got nearly enough time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I remember, like, I loved the Emberly Grunt stuff. It was super funny. 3 scenes.
Yeah.
3 scenes. Joey Richter pops up like 15, 20 minutes in. The next time you see him is almost an hour and a half.
Like the most we ever see of Joey Richter is when he's when it's back to Starship and he's the puppeteer all over again.
Oh yeah. You guys, I know we still have a cast list to go to, but can we actually talk about the puppets?
Oh my god. So okay. We'll get to the puppet super fast. But because I'm complaining, we might as well
go ahead.
Rest of the cast. No point. They're there for every so often, like, what's her name? Tiblin holding up the sky. You know, her putting her arms down is showing people that, you know, she doesn't have to do that. That's her role in the story. Brian Holden. I love him. I love his performance. Character didn't mean anything. Got a good laugh.
Smelly Balls did all right. That's actually his name.
That is literally his name. Yeah.
Who else?
Schwoopsie
again.
Literally
I really
running
like.
joke.
I loved the Von Blucher running gag, but the character herself just there to make fun of comedians, which is like whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
And Chorn will save for later.
Like it's like genuinely like Clark Backstresser. It's like it's just because in the credits he's listed as himself. That's why I remember him so much.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they ran out of actors or they just wanted to conclude.
then it's just kind of thing of like, where did he come from, and why does he like act like that? Maybe
I think it's supposed to be almost an inside joke of everybody swooning over Clark Backdresser.
Well,
because he's
I mean,
just
yeah,
so
obviously that's the
handsome.
joke, but it's like, why, when Jamila's by herself, why does he approach her from behind and hug her and say, "Come with me"? Like that's what I'm saying. Obviously, the joke is that he's Clark Backdresser, and once people find out who he is, they swoon. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
but like, why? Well, like, why did they get to that point in the first place? It's just stuff that it's like, because there's so much happening. So much of what happens is just like whatever.
Yeah,
I think the
Like,
joke was
Ducker falls into that too. I'm fine with Ducker because Joe Walker just makes every scene a good scene, but you just can't help but feel like so many of the, it's just a lot didn't have to be here.
Coming from, I mean, we came from Annie, which also had a similar problem of like too many undeveloped characters.
It's better off than
coming out of Trail to Oregon, and just how economic, how the minimalist they took that, and just getting the bare essentials and making sure those essentials worked 100%. When you have a cast this large, there's just gonna be, unless you really focus, there's just gonna be some characters that fall by the wayside, and there's not a lot for you to talk about.
And it's like, oh hey, it's most of the characters.
Yeah.
All right, puppets. I'm done complaining. Let's talk about potentially.
Hold on. I want to say one more thing real quick. I agree with you, and there was obviously potential for other stories, like but there's again, they go nowhere. Kiri even goes nowhere with her development. She's just kind of like a psychic character. Tiblin, they introduce a thing where she like has a crush on Chorn. Goes nowhere.
I forgot about that. You're right.
Yeah, and that was like the first instance of bisexuality in the play, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. I thought for sure something was gonna happen with that, especially what happens with Chorn near the end. But no, she goes nowhere. Smelly Balls goes nowhere. Schwoopsie doesn't really do anything, doesn't get a new joke. Goes nowhere. Clark, he's just there because he's the band, and everyone in the band is a Neanderthal. Literally, she lists there's literally a point where Jamila says goodbye to everybody, all the band members. And I'm just like, okay, that's cute. But yeah,
I like that.
I see the problems there. And I just want to say, yeah, I agree with you. And there is a lot of missed potential. Maybe it could have used another draft that either expanded upon these and made it play longer, or more likely cut some things.
I don't know if we probably have this archived, but when we play this game Exquisite Corpse, where we take turns writing, obviously this isn't nearly as sloppy. No. But you can just, I can't tell which specific writer wrote which parts, but you can kind of tell that more than one person had a big say in what happened when, because just a lot of things don't add up. They don't mesh together. Isolated, they range from very good to forgettable, but put them together and it's just like, oh, well, it's just kind of a narrative mess.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you can't really cut down the cast because it needs to still feel like a village, like a small community. And like, again, like we said that there was like D'Angelo, Amberly, maybe D'Angelo, Jamila, Amberly, Grant, and maybe Kiri, and then that's about it.
And with minor characters, you don't need to have thing like the fact that there are minor characters and they have things that go nowhere. It's so bizarre because they're minor characters. If you have the minor characters be like Ducker, where he's there for jokes and commentary. You don't really need to have the character evolve or change. They're just there to enhance it. Like all of these minor characters having stories that go nowhere take away from the main character that has a story that doesn't go anywhere. Like,
or if you're gonna go with that, then just go with it. Just have
that too. Don't drop them. Of course they're gonna drop them. There's 4 writers.
Yeah.
No,
That's the name of the episode. There's 4 writers.
I think the real trouble with it is that because of it, I don't know whether it's really because of the 4 writers, but it definitely feel like there was less of a focus this time around of like really trying to like sand it down.
Random, have you ever written with others? I feel like you can back me up on this one. The more writers,
have some even in this podcast.
Yeah. The more writers you have, it eventually gets to a point
the
where
more
it's like,
writers you have, the more chaotic it can get.
Yes.
Oh my
Thank
God!
you.
Yeah.
You said it much better than I did. Thank you.
Unless it's like a really tight group of people. Like
I've been in a short film where we had a screenplay, and then for some reason we decided to try to fix the script as a committee. And this was maybe like 8-9 people. Horrible.
Oh no.
Terrible.
This is still like fun and enjoyable. 8 or 9 people can only imagine.
Yeah.
God.
Oh yeah, they had to edit it down so hard when they finished up filming. Like it was very chaotic.
Speaking of chaos, but also not, the puppets.
Yes. Okay, let's finally talk about these things. Wow.
There's 2 major puppets in this one: the mammoth, which we'll talk about first, and then Snarl, which is
yeah.
My jaw dropped when I saw the mammal. I was like,
the mammoth.
I
was
forgot
fantastic.
they did puppets this good.
Yeah, the mammoth looked really
it's
good.
weird. I think about Starship all the time, but it's like I forgot the puppets. But I mean, like these are like big. You know, we had the villain in Starship, but this is it's a mammoth, and it's like is big, and there's so much detail, and it was so good. It was so good.
It was really good, and like it's only in one scene, but like it's still great because you like see the mammoth just like do its thing, and I'm not sure if it blinks at all, the puppet, but like it's also Joey Richter doing the voice, so just seeing the mammoth go, "Nuh-uh, no, you get back, you go back up there."
Wait a minute. Joey Richter playing more than one minor character? Is he playing an ensemble?
And to think about it, the duck was also technically a puppet, but also not.
Well, it did like have like flapping its wing.
I was impressed. I was impressed by that.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, you know,
it's
just to have Joey Richter like raise the duck to have it fly. Like that's funny enough, but it's like no, they went the extra mile. I liked it.
Yeah, it was nice. The mammoth was in one. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say this definitely feels like hold on. What was the name of the guy who made the puppets for Starship? Because it definitely felt like we mentioned before that Russ Walko, I believe it was. It felt like I'm guessing that they brought him back for this one because it definitely felt like Jim Henson style puppets, especially Snarl, which reminded me a lot of Between the Lions, and not just because it's a big cat. Like
Snarl, that freaking puppet looks so cool.
Yeah,
my favorite thing about it was it was really just like Andros style head and hands, but it moved its eyes. The eyes glue in the dark. It was so cool. Like
I have to bring this up. I guess I can bring it up when we talk about the songs, but it's not up specifically the puppet, but when they're singing about the Snarl and the lights dim and the light is in the background and you can see the shadow of a person walking and then the Snarl comes up and bites him.
Shadow puppet.
Yeah, it's a funny moment, but it's still really cool.
Oh my god. That was incredible.
It worked like twofold as like shadow puppets that you would have in a dark cave like that, and as cave paintings, like inscribed all over the walls.
It just works because it builds the suspense of what the Snarl is. You only get to see its shadow.
It's not Snarl isn't just like a villain who just shows up randomly. You get build up to him. They fear him. Everyone in the tribe does not want to go outside because of this one creature, and you get a whole song about it.
And I was really worried that they were going to go in the direction of, the whole play, building up how scary it is. And then it's like, the duck! Or something stupid. But it's like, no, they just put a big budget into making this really good puppet. And it's like,
It's an impressive puppet. It's a pretty scary puppet, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Like if
Although-
I saw this as a kid, I would cry.
I really, if I was a kid, yeah, I would cry too. But I got a really good laugh out of when they're in the lair and the Snarl is sleeping. And so somebody touches the Snarl and they're like, he's so soft. And they start petting him. They're like, come here, come here.
and then like all it took was Joey Richter saying, "Hey guys, we're over here now."
No, it was Jamila and Zazzle who came in.
What
Yeah,
Jamila? That's
Hey
right.
guys, we're here to help,
yeah.
and then he wakes up.
Yeah. They're like,
Yeah.
Emberly is like, you idiots, we had this whole thing under control until you showed up.
They really did. It was weird, a bit weird. Maybe it's just like the material that they used, but it was a bit weird that like when the eyes light up, you can still see the light when he blinks. Like you can see it through the eyelids.
Well, yeah, didn't you know that the Snarl? I don't know why. Never mind, the joke's dead.
Did you guys know that the Snarl can still see you even when he blinks?
That's not what I was gonna say, but you know what? It's better than nothing.
But yeah, as far as StarKid antagonists go, like it's like it doesn't have like the singing voice of Dylan Saunders, but it's still really cool. And it's also nice to have an antagonist in the StarKid universe that's like an animal.
Yeah.
I mean,
obviously Starship, but that one is different.
Yeah.
That one's different.
Yeah. This is more like a force of nature.
Yeah,
Like,
which
there's
is perfect for a
real
Stone Age
villain
story.
this
It's
time.
perfect for a story like this.
Perfect.
Yeah.
How much is there anything else we should mention? How much time do we have left?
We've got about 7.5 minutes, so let's talk about the ending.
Yes. Oh
And
my
that-
god.
and by that I mean,
Okay.
let's talk about Chorn.
Okay.
First off, to build up Chorn, literally is just a one-word character where like they literally say 2 lines and of course sing the lines that they sing. Ignore that. But they say Chorn, and then at one point they say fire, and that's all their lines.
And they, at one point they say, "Chorn, you asshole, Chorn."
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was good.
Yeah.
And then it's not till the very end when Zazzle actually makes fire and they burn Snarl. Yes, they burn him.
Yes.
That Chorn reveals themselves to be an alien.
Like
And
I
then-
wanted to say,
and then-
my stance on this was because like when you know it was first like the alien reveal, I thought it was pretty silly whatever, but it's like I just didn't know how I felt about because the play didn't have like a super silly tone to it. So I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. Then she pulls over Grunt, gives him his arm back. He asks, "Can I have my feet?" She says, "Sorry, I can't do feet." And he replies with, "It's okay, I have the same problem." That is the best line in the whole play. I had to stop it. I was laughing so hard.
One line I really liked is when when Joe Walker goes up to shore, he's like, "Oh, you are God," and
There
then
is
she
no
just
God.
goes, "Oh, there is no God," and you just see like, do you see just Joe Walker just like slightly shaking, like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
It's the prequel to Starship. I will say that for a lot of this musical, I was kind of having a similar problem that Kirbyfan was having with Starship, where it was feeling pretty standard. This is still a very fun musical. It's feeling pretty standard. And then the Chorn thing happened that just pulled everything under the rug.
That's a good way to look at it. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. It just completely upended the whole. It seems like upend the whole message of this being like a social satire, because nope, it was aliens all along.
Yeah, I love how like literally it's just like she just, my favorite thing is like when Chorn does her song, she just like touches their forehead, and everyone has this like goofy, like, oh god, information face. And like,
and she starts singing too while everybody's convulsing.
yeah, convulsing and saying facts about the world. Meanwhile, I am Sean, and she's like belting her heart out.
It reminded me of the ending of Trail to Oregon, where it's like you have this one character that's singing heart out in the middle of a fart joke, and it's the same.
Yeah, Jamie Burns is her name, and she does a really good job. She just plays like Torn, which is just really mentioned in the Great Debate, and you don't think is gonna go anywhere, and then the ending happens, and then she leaves, and then she comes back near the end of the finale when everyone's there, and gives information to Molag.
Yeah, it's like,
we know. Sean told us.
What the fuck?
Did we all see the same thing? I think so. Did we all see that I am? No. Nobody saw that.
It's so great. It's so good. Oh, I love it. It's just one of the weirder StarKid endings, for sure.
It's so out of nowhere, because I mean, I think, I mean, Wash is fair in thinking this and everything, but the standard thing, I didn't quite think about it, but it's definitely probably until the ending, the least silly one so far, I'd go as far as to say. Like, not in terms of, like, being funny or not, but just in terms of, like, the layout of the story. It's not really all that silly. And then Jorn happened, and it's just like, there you go.
All the silliness, you're putting it all in one scene.
Yep.
I would debatably say, like, Twisted is less silly. If you can ignore the Aladdin stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was the Aladdin reveal where he just breaks down all of a sudden.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, yeah, me, myself, and Irene. If I'm gonna be referencing movies, the ending of this reminded me of Life of Brian, where like in the middle of a chase sequence, Brian all of a sudden like falls inside of an alien spaceship, and there's this whole sequence with the spaceship, and then he crashes down, and then he just dusts himself off, and some guy says, "You lucky bastard," and he's like, "Oh," and then the chase scene continues again.
Yeah, it was a good scene.
Yeah,
the songs weren't as memorable this time for me.
I thought so. My thing with the songs, they were all right, but I at least give them credit for they have the same basic instrumentation, but they're not the same song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I shouldn't have to give credit to this, but we just watched Annie.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have to give credit for this, but they performed the songs on stage.
Yes.
And
yes, they did.
And that makes the when they do like dancing choreography stuff, that makes it better when they're also singing on stage.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. It really, really does. I think some of my favorite songs are Just a Taste, Duck is Lord, even though it's short. The Night Belongs to Snarl. We've Got Work to Do is good too. We Are People Now is good. Hate Me's alright. There's a song called Ouch My Butt.
It might have been a really short one.
Yeah, I don't remember that. It might have been when it might be the song when like Joe Walker sets everything on fire.
Oh, probably. And then like right after that was the song Backfire.
Yes.
That was pretty. I just like just kind of the layout of that one. And it was a short song.
Because you expect a reprise of What If, and then you just hear Backfire, and it's just like,
yeah.
And of course, Shorn.
Yeah. So we already mentioned, but like the actor for Shorn, Jamie Burns, what a voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she's singing I Am Chorin at the end, that like she's got a good voice.
Like,
yeah, like oh my god.
Damn. Yeah. Again, it's a lot of people's first and last. I don't know about Jamie Burns with the guy who didn't like musicals. I hope it's not, and even if it is her last one so far, I hope she comes back, because she is Shorn didn't show off her acting abilities as much as it could have. Like she just said Shorn and then was an alien near the next scene. I want more of her.
You know what I want?
The timer. All right.
I'm gonna say we may see her in that 10th anniversary special that we're not gonna watch. So
Well, you're gonna watch the documentary, but either way, final thoughts. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I thought it was very good. Like I said, I felt that the most of it was very standard. It's a very standard story. The idealistic one that makes this great invention that all falls apart and everybody hates her for it, but she figures it all out and saves them at the end using her cunning. And then Sean happens, and it just like goes off the rails. At the end, at least. Like we said, it felt unfocused with his characters. That it Kirbyfan outlined in detail. There was just a lot that, both of you. There was just a lot that just couldn't get completely dropped. It's good. It's still good. I still like the songs, and I feel like it's a neat concept to especially like coming out of Annie, where they just had the collective realization of we're not doing parodies anymore. Let's just not.
Yeah, it's an original production. It is. Yeah. I mean, it's a Stone Age. It's the start of the, I guess, Kickstarter era, where they just started doing using Kickstarter to finance all of their musicals, at least so far. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, I liked it. I don't know where I'll probably give it like a. I think I'll give it like a B. So do you know where it is ranked in your list so far?
I haven't even started on the list, especially when there's 10 musicals that I gotta keep track of so far.
True. All right.
We'll get to that.
All right. I have a list. All right, Kirby.
I know you do.
Kirby?
Hello. I really liked this one. I had a lot of fun with it. But I definitely compared to the non-original works. Parodies are fun, but original works are always going to be the best. That's at least in my book, a parody. Unless if you're an original work that's parodying something that's a little different.
Young Frankenstein
and Young Frankenstein are more relevant, I guess. Starship,
yeah,
or Trail to Oregon. Stuff like that where it's like, technically they're inspired by something, but it's like, no, they're original works. And Trail to Oregon, this ain't, but it's very fun. The characters that get the spotlight that they need, I think, turn out very good. I love the cast. The songs are good. Some of the visual effects are things that I would not expect out of theater. Very specifically talking about the shadows. Although the puppets, which is something that I would expect out of theater, they go above and beyond. Some very good jokes, a lot of very good actors. Definitely the saving grace of the ensemble are the actors. We brought up Brian Holden, how the character is just like nothing, but Brian Holden is just really funny. And I don't think, again, I said it before, I'll just say it again. I get where Wash is coming from. I don't think the play is super standard. Maybe like the outline, like if you go to Spark Notes, then it's like, yeah, it's definitely. But the fact that it's in the Stone Age, the fact that there's a lot more. Maybe not so much that there's a lot more going on, but just that it's like, a lot of the things affect each other. It felt like there was enough of a spark of creativity to it that it wasn't just super standard. I love Starship, but creative it wasn't. And that's kind of where the big question comes in, because I did really have a fun time with this one, but the problems I can't ignore. And then it just kind of comes down to a question of, again, Trail to Oregon it ain't, but which do I find myself preferring? The one that's flawed and overall worse, but has some aspects that are just like really good, or the one that's more consistent and overall better, but didn't really like try anything too new or different. I can definitely say that I like this more than Twisted, for sure. But as far as Starship goes, tentative answer that I still prefer Starship, but I gotta watch them again. I've only seen them once, so obviously, who knows? Maybe I'll wind up liking Firebringer even less than Twisted, who knows? For now, though, tentative, I'll just give it the A- because that's what I gave Starship. But I had a lot of fun with it. Random, you're up.
All right. When I first watched this years ago, I thought it was okay. I don't know what the hell I was thinking back then, because I also liked Me and My Dick. At one point I would have said Me and My Dick was better than Firebringer. I'm out of my mind. This was so much better watching it again. Yes, it did have its problems of the 4 writers and a lot of plot points not going anywhere, but what did work really did work. I liked Zazalil. I liked Jamila. I liked Emberly and Grunt. I even liked Kiri, Denise Donovan, a lot. Ducker was great. When the characters did shine, they did shine. The puppets are phenomenal, and
yes.
I really, really enjoyed it. It was a lot better watching the second time than the first. I do know where it is in the ranking. And instead of just saying what it is and where it's going to go, I'm going to do things from the bottom up.
Oh, wow. We actually have that many bad things to talk about. You can do bottom up. Oh, man. All
right. In order of things now, here is my ranking list. I'm going to do it from bottom up. Number 10, Me and My Dick. Number 9, Annie. Number 8, A Harry Potter Musical. Number 7, Holy Musical Batman. Number 6, A Harry Potter Sequel. Number 5, A Harry Potter Senior Year. Number 4, Firebringer. So, and number 3, Twisted. Number 2, Trail Oregon. Number 1, Starship. So it is in the top 5.
Okay.
Which is a lot higher than I originally thought it was going to be. So
Anayume, when you listen to this episode, sorry.
Yeah. To be fair, she hasn't seen it in a while either. It could have been the same problem, like whatever I had that was against the musical, because it is different in many ways from usual StarKid musicals, and it is the first non-parody they really had since kind of Starship, kind of Trail of Oregon. So for all we know, we could have not been used to it. I don't know, but I really am very happy that this turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and now it's time for the StarKid Spotlight. You guys mention who really shined in this musical, and you two decide which one of you is going to choose who I think you're going to choose. All right, so who wants to go first? Who's going to fight first?
How about KirbyFan goes first this time?
All right. I've been saving up my goodwill points, I guess. Joe Walker, of course.
Yeah.
Who else am I going to mention? This was his last performance before things went down. And like I said, just when you have a pedigree as good as his, this being like honestly on the lower end of things, possibly. I don't even know. I'd really have to like think through. Even if it's like in the middle, it still outshines like a lot of other, even StarKid actors, as good as they are. But just looking at Ducker by himself, very funny. I like the commentary of the character, just because it isn't specifically religion bad. It's just like religion nutcases like him are something. And that's exactly how he performed it. I never thought he was specifically saying, oh, religion is bad, or oh, religion is good. It's worship the holy duck. And it's like, yeah, if you're gonna tackle something sensitive, I think that's the direction you gotta take it.
Yeah.
Don't worship false idols.
Yeah.
This would probably be a good time to mention now why this is Joe Walker's last production.
When we talked about this off recording, I explained it, so you can explain it.
I did a terrible job explaining it, but basically, I hate to get political, but during the 2016 election, the results of that left Joe Walker in like a really bad like depression.
But specifically, the way that I heard it was that he made a bet that like if wins, then I'm going to business school.
Well, he's not really a bet. He told himself that.
He told himself that.
And once that happened, he literally just thought to himself like, "What am I doing?" And just decided to quit acting and go back to business school.
Edit out the mention of that name, please. Just a bit of advice.
Oh yeah, I will gladly. I will
just some advice. I think it's for the best.
I think it's.
And you know what? I'll just stay straight up. He graduated from business school right before the pandemic. From the looks of it, good timing there. And he's engaged. So he's doing pretty well for himself. And
I think he was did you say he was valedictorian as well?
Yes, he is valedictorian.
Nice.
He was valedictorian at business school. Like he really did well for himself. Like,
yeah. I mean, I hope it would be nice if he did come back like as one last hurrah. But at the same time, he's doing pretty well for himself. And I hope if we get to see him one more time, that would be great. But from the beginning, we love Joe Walker.
Our precious Voldemort has moved on, and we love him for it.
Yeah. I remember the old days when we watched him in the Harry Potter musical.
The beginnings.
And we were both like fighting over who was gonna say Joe Walker.
Joe. Yeah, but before we go, Joe Walker, if you're listening to this, we love you and we're happy for you. Keep on being amazing no matter what you do.
We're sorry we didn't pick you that many times, but
specifically on the logic that we picked you too many times.
Okay, for my pick, there are some pretty good performances here. I'll definitely give a shout out to Joey Rister for playing Joey Rister as a caveman, and just really like the comedy performances of that, and just the way they take this art character. But if I'm gonna go for my StarKid Spotlight, I gotta give it to Lauren Walker as Molog. Just a ball, an absolute ball. Funny as hell. Played that sort of trickster narrator so well. And just had a blast. Watching. And if this is her final performance, then I'm just gonna I'll just kind of have to give that shout out right now.
Yeah, good choice. Oh my god, there's so many I could choose from. I'm so torn.
You're so torn.
Jamie Burns, I'll give her a shout out. She's great, but I feel like
there wasn't enough of Jamie Burns.
There wasn't enough of her. We need more of her. StarKid. I'm so torn between three people. I'll give a shout out to Meredith.
I was gonna say Wash gave a shout out and then did another one.
I'll give a shout out to Meredith. She did a really good job as Jamila. Still not my favorite role of hers. I think my favorite role of hers will always be Mega Girl. But she did a great job.
That's probably mine too.
And she did a really good job. And now it's torn between two people. I'm gonna give it to Lauren. Is great. I adore her, and this is her first role.
Lauren Walker?
Lauren Lopez. Lauren Lopez is great. She does a fantastic job playing a regular woman, not with a voice or anything like that. And she discovers fire and all, but I'm gonna give it to Rachel. Rachel Soglin.
Nice. Let's
Uh,
go.
Oh, nice.
She
Let's go.
she made me laugh a lot. She's funny. She has her and Grunt make me laugh. But it's mostly Emberly that's the main force behind that. I think we didn't talk about this scene, but the fire shitter scene was great.
Fire shitter. Fire shitter.
Fire shitter. That's
Tiger fucker. Tiger fucker.
That's another StarKid cliche they do. They have this thing where it's like, all hail,
The tiger fucker.
all hail Emberly the fire shitter, all hail Ahmed the tiger fucker, and they've done that with other things too. Like just those are the two notable examples. But
Yeah.
I don't. Again, this might be her last StarKid show as well. I don't know the cast of Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, but she did a really good job. I do like her better as the mother in Trail to Oregon, but she still made me laugh a lot here. And again, it was really hard between her and Lauren, but like just a taste of something good is probably what sealed the deal for me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But really good either way. The cast did shine a lot. Every actor did well in their roles, even if their role wasn't the biggest or best. And now we have 2 musicals left.
Good lord. It feels weird to I think part of it is because we've been doing this week after week, and we're just like churning it out, so it feels weird to be going through this so fast.
Yeah.
Just for reference, it's currently Cinco de Mayo as we're recording this, but this episode's probably going out in like August, September. I don't even
know. We are so ahead of the game. Only 2 episodes have been uploaded so far.
Yeah.
And only so 2 episodes are left.
Yeah,
wow.
so far, like right now we're having a pretty good time, but our past selves are currently miserable.
Yeah. Well,
just
honestly,
you wait past me.
And I told you guys, we got to get through the bad to get through the good. And what did I tell you? I was right.
Yeah, we had to get through the bad to get to just classics as Annie.
Hey, you know what? We got Firebringer back. We got Firebringer, we got Twisted, we got Trail to Oregon, and we got Starship. All great ones.
And coming up, we got the start of a trilogy, apparently.
Yeah, the start of the Hatchetfield series of musicals, which is basically something StarKid made up, which
Well, the important thing is that we got Jeff Blim back
as a musical writer. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
I noticed. I am very happy about that.
Yeah. So we'll see where this goes. I mean, obviously the title, like the guy who didn't like musicals in StarKid, that's gonna be interesting.
It is.
And Random, you haven't seen this one before.
No.
That's the most interesting part.
It really is.
We are all going in blind.
I've seen Black Friday, which is apparently relates to it because they're both part of the Hatchetfield saga. But
I mean, okay. So in fairness, they could relate similar to how the Cornetto trilogy relates. Right?
Yeah. It's.
I think they're a little bit more closer than that. Like, because there were some jokes that I remember in Black Friday. I don't remember the specifics, but there were some references in Black Friday where everybody applauded, and I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? And so I have a feeling that relates to the guy who didn't like musicals. I don't know. I'm going into this completely blind, just like you two. And I believe we will have Anayume back as well, because she's going into this blind too.
Yep, but this is also very spur of the moment. We finished Trail to Oregon, found out she didn't watch it, and then we were just like, oh, hey.
Let's come back. Talk about it.
You're a good luck charm. Come back.
And it was. I'm really excited to finally watch this, because the amount of times a guy who didn't like musicals kept coming into my up next recommendations on YouTube after watching a musical. It was just like taunting me. And I'm like, I'm finally gonna get to watch it.
Why haven't you ever watched it?
I don't know. I just kind of never got the chance to. And by the time I thought about doing StarKid Spotlight, I was like, okay, I should probably watch it before we start. And then I was like, no. Let's all go into let me go into this blind too, because it will make things interesting. And I almost cracked a couple times. There was like a couple times where it was very tempting to get into it, but I didn't. And I'm so glad I waited. Now is the time. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Oh,
let's go.
Let's go. But we have been going with StarKid Spotlight for a while now. And but if you want to find us and other projects, well, take it away, Wash.
Follow us on SoundCloud.
No, we're not on SoundCloud.
If you liked what you listened to, then you can follow us on Twitter at WRK Podcast, and we'll let you know when new episodes arrive. And also, you can subscribe to our Simplecast, wrk.simplecast.com, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel where we post these as video episodes. And you can watch the Sonic episode in its original glory. And yeah. Go check us out.
Go check us out.
And also, I'm on Twitter at _TheWash. And Random is RBA Streams?
Yeah, on Twitter. I just look up Random Bystander here on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. You'll be able to find me.
And KirbyFan.
You'll be able to find me on SoundCloud.
That's right. And with that...
I'm Random Bystander here.
I'm the Udge.
And I'm on SoundCloud.
Thank you, everybody, and have a nice night.
Opportunity to say I am Chorn! What is wrong with you? Why did you not say I am Chorn? I am Chorn! I'm turning.
When it's time for the next episode, if I'm not there, it's because Random killed me.